freaking night.
Why, hello, everyone. It's the Anime Club again.
God, having to do intros for like 5 episodes in every recording.
I'm trying.
No, it's just trippy.
Well, we're back with just some free thoughts, some final thoughts, and then anything else you want to say involving anything. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, anything you want to say.
Those are the ideals we wouldn't settle for less.
You just got us copyrighted.
I didn't actually sing the line right, so I didn't.
Okay, good.
I fucked up on the lyrics deliberately. But, okay. Does anyone have a show that you should watch instead of watching this, maybe?
Well, I mean...
Or something you'd suggest if you liked this?
I think this follows the mold of a lot of rom-coms. You could pretty much any modern or older rom-com, you're going to get, like, I can see, like, if it's not that so far out there that it's not going to transfer easily over to other rom-coms. To name them all it would put Seki on me. Let's just scroll through these.
Well, okay, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I'd say, along these lines, I would say maybe 3 shows come to mind, right? Just 3. Oron, Fruits Basket, and Kaguya-sama Love is War.
Yeah, but
like because I'm considering setting, theme, tone, kind of more than just like what the show is about. And those 3 kind of are what come to mind, like what I would watch instead of this if I wanted to be in the same general genre.
But like the genre of one love interest annoying their way into the other love interest's heart is a pretty common setup for rom-com these days in general.
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to list all of them. I mean, there's Teasing Master Takagi-san.
Yeah, Uzaki, Tagaki, Nagatoro's premiering right now.
Oh my god, shout out to Giguk who compared Teasing Master Takagi-san to Dark Souls.
Yes. Yes.
Like he said, it was a Dark Souls level of torture, and honestly, now that Realm has shown me Dark Souls, I get it.
Yeah. She gets the meme, everybody. She gets the comparison.
She gets the comparison.
But like I said, I wouldn't bother to list all of them this time, because this is a broader and more well-known genre with a lot kind of more in it over the course of the last 21 years. Unlike when I did the Reincarnated as a Villainess, that's a little bit more niche, and there's a lot of more recent stuff I wanted to get into that list.
And I'd say if you like this, you're probably a fan of rom-coms in general. So you'll find anime is no shortage to high school rom-coms. You're going to find other shows like this easily.
Yeah.
Like my favorite show like this is obviously going to be Kaguya, of course. So if you want my recommendation, go Kaguya. If you wanted something better than this, maybe. But
yeah, I think the closest you could get to this while getting a show that I would recommend is definitely Oron and Fruits Basket. Those are what I would consider the closest to this, in terms of even plot, like even including plot, like more specific than genre. But also, like I said, I wouldn't go through the list of stuff I've watched to like list out a bunch of stuff this time. And I honestly, it was really interesting watching this show after 8 to 10-ish years since the last time I've seen it. Because I feel like I've thought about watching this show a lot, Like I've said to myself, ooh, look, Maid-sama, I like that. I could watch that. And then I always just turn away and watch something else over the course of the last 8 or so years. Because I think Realm, Maid-sama's been on Netflix for the last significant amount of years.
We watched the first episode as a group before.
Yeah, something.
Oh, see, I didn't remember that.
It's been a long time, though.
Yeah.
We did all. I don't know if Warren was there, but it was definitely you, Realm, and I were definitely there. We watched the first episode.
Huh. Interesting.
This was either early, a year, at least 2 years back, if not more.
Yeah, so it's easily accessible and it's all over the place. There's no shortage of ways to watch this, obviously. But I don't know. It's just a little bit of an odd show out for me. My nostalgia gives it the approval, right? My enjoyment of it on the first watch through as an overall show. But I can probably say confidently that if I had watched this now for the first time, I would not be giving it an approval, fully 100% admitting nostalgia is driving my opinion up.
I mean, not to say too much on the show, because I have a feeling I'd have a similar opinion of a lot of the rom-coms I've watched over the years, back to back, week to week. Because just you've seen one rom-com, you've seen them all typically. So maybe it could have just been a factor of me watching this day by day and how. And it's a little bit of an older one, so a lot of tropes that are generally not used in rom anymore have made their way into here from. So I don't know. That could be a factor there as well, but that's generally why So I don't hate the show. I just don't love it.
Realm?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. I generally I don't hate this either. Huh?
Well, this is your show in the hat. It was yours in the hat.
Yeah. So, because I put it in there, but I also didn't really watch much of it. Like back when it was still around. Then I only maybe thought about it every so often, but I never went back. I never actively went back and watched it. I think because at that time I didn't end up liking it as much or whatever for some reason. But now that I'm actually going back to watch it, it's just I kind of understand why I might not have liked this back then as much. And now that I have a different understanding of it, I still don't like it as much, but I can appreciate it for what it tried to do, even if some of that was not the greatest.
Even if they didn't quite manage to get Takumi out of creeper territory and into love interest.
Yeah. Really, just fucked that up royally in some ways.
I'll have to do a quick go back over the manga to see if it's that fucked up in the manga too. It's been a long time.
We can put it into the pile of other shows of the unknown or unused planned series of let's compare it to the source material.
Yeah, exactly. I need to start doing that. Warren?
I really don't know what else to say, really. It's not that memorable. I'm just, yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I feel that often rom-coms can be the least memorable of different series because A, they're so varied, B, there are so many of them, and a rom-com is always going to be less memorable than, say, a Demon Slayer or a Haikyuu or One Piece.
In regards to most rom-coms that get popular for their time, I think it's a matter of just which ones you watch when, or sometimes they blend together. You're not gonna like everyone, but they're easy content to.
In a lot of cases, getting into certain shows is based on what gets legal adaptions. And like we said, this has been available legally for a really long time. It's been consistently available legally.
And I think it's just kind of rare that you get rom-coms that have such a totally different premise or a totally different setup to how they present themselves that they'll get out of that blend. So you have a few that sit at the top or a few big classics. I think maid-sama is one of those.
I think it's generally considered inside of the US as like one of those animes that got really popular when it was published, and it's like just been consistently available. It's kind of like Fruits Basket and Oron. Like they just somehow captured people's attention.
Like in 3 years, no one's going to remember Uzaki, but it was around for the time. I think I categorize this in the same way I categorize that, although I do have to acknowledge that it is one of those ones that was around earlier, so it is one of the ones that did make it up to one of those, at least in the U.S. anime community or the Western anime community. It's more of a viewed as a classic for rom-coms.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how this is viewed, obviously, in Japan, because none of us are Japanese, and we don't live there, and we don't participate in the Japanese
anime
community.
None of us are Japanese citizens.
Yeah. None of us are Japanese citizens. And 3 of us do not have the blood of Japanese people running through our veins.
Nippon Banzai!
Yeah. But you know what? If anyone has seen this show and has remembers watching it longer than maybe 5 years ago, I'd love it if you could comment back and tell us what you thought about it. Because I think it would just be really interesting to hear from some other people, because the 4 of us are relatively isolated in terms of the anime community. I mean, we hang out with each other and we each have a few people we talk to seriously about anime, but generally we're not posting on forums or going to cons constantly and meeting up with giant groups of people that we don't know.
I mean, I watch Twitter fights in the anime community.
Yeah, watching but not participating.
I participated in 1 or 2.
Okay. It looks like we got a weeaboo on our hands, people.
Yeah.
But I think with that being said, that's about all we have to say for this show.
Yeah.
So we are going to pull for next week.
Ooh-wee.
Rel?
No. No more teasing me.
Well, I mean, I'm not in the hat, so
Yeah.
I won't be.
But
But now I'm in the hat.
Yeah.
And I'm still in there.
And Rando.
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And it's gonna be Rando.
Okay.
All right,
So
then.
that means
Yay.
potentially you'll get the last two no matter what somehow, or the next one and the one after, and then one of you will have one more pull. Probably you, because you're almost tied with me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull from Rando.
Big Wheel of Fortune!
I know Rando is just.
Rando is finally getting his time to shine.
All right, and
What is it?
What?
Oh, fucking damn it! Damn you, Rando!
we're gonna fix my mistake from season 1, and we're gonna finish the Galuna Island arc in Fairy Tale.
13th or 20, folks.
But short submission, since we only have a week, 7 episodes.
I'll
cut some of this
Same
out,
schedule
so.
for you guys.
Yeah.
See you later. Try harder.
See ya!
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. If we get a Patreon, subscribe to the Patreon.
We'll see.
Maybe. Who knows? Be busy.
Guys, get us a Patreon.